My name is Jorge Calderon. I'm the founder and CEO of Italy. And what we're trying to do is restore the college to career promise. And if I find my clicker, I will keep going. Okay, here we go. Next. Fantastic. Additionally, I'm also an adjunct professor at a top university. And like you, I recognize that there is a broken bridge between college and careers. Most employers will tell you that students coming out of college are ill-prepared and underskilled. This causes a huge problem for both the student or the new grad as well as the companies. So for the students, they now have a very slow entry into the market, slow career path at the outset, and they're also very unhappy about their careers. For employers, they actually have to burden all the costs that are associated with this, including recruiting, additional recruiting, turnover, productivity issues, and additional basic training that the students should have already had. So why is this happening? So there's an outdated process. It's been around for about 100 years. The students, first and foremost, are not actually doing anything with their career resources. They just don't like it. They don't go to career centers, et cetera. So they're not getting career ready on their own. Secondly, colleges are still theoretical. I know, my college is somewhat theoretical. And then third, the employers are just not really engaging with students before they come out of school. Right before recruiting, yes, but other than that, they're not really getting engaged. So this is where we step in. So essentially, Italy is focused on the engagement and information flow problem. And so the way that we're approaching this is we've created an app that essentially is a skill building and recruiting platform. And it's gamified so that it actually incentivizes the students to participate. So let me explain to you a little bit about how this works. So it's very much like a marketplace. So think of the employers creating what we call little skills challenges. So these skills challenges could be something as simple as a micro activity like tell me a piece of code, or do this math problem, or take this specific course. So the students actually participate by actually agreeing to this challenge, accepting the challenge, and then actually completing it. It's validated that they actually did the challenge, and then they get points and badges as a reward. They can use those points then for what we call career rewards. And that can be something like going to meet the CEO, or potentially being on the interview list, et cetera. So the great thing about this is as students are doing career experimentation while they're still in school instead of after school, which is the current process, they're actually starting to gain skills. They're getting fantastic opportunities to access recruiters, and then they're getting more jobs at the end of the story. For employers, yeah, I'm going to run over. Thanks for the time's up thing. Sorry, but it'll be worth it. So for the employers, they actually have a fantastic opportunity to curate and cultivate a specific talent pool that they have better skills and show commitment and have shown commitment over 3 or 4 years of college. So as you can suspect, we're playing essentially in 2 different markets, and it's a big opportunity. So there are a lot of players in this space. It's very much fragmented. There's not one specific company that's actually winning this space.
15 seconds more.
Okay. So we feel like that we are actually focusing on the root cause, and we have some IP that we are protecting, and really there's a really large switching cost to all of this. I'm excited to tell you that we are initially focused on ambitious college women in competitive colleges, and we're focused on 4 industries, including financial services and technology. We are currently giving away the platform for free. We're going to plan to monetize next year with a tiered SaaS model. We've had some really good progress. We're pretty still early on in our startup venture, but we have the product live within a beta and with customers.
And I've got to cut you off.
And then lastly, here's the team. It's me. I have a bunch of fantastic contractors, fantastic advisors and investors. I come from both academia, but I also have deep roots in technology, management, and workforce development.
All right, Jorge, excellent job. Don't forget, now you've got 6 minutes of pure entertainment.
Sorry, professors get wordy, so sorry we ran over.
Well, that's why I'm here.
What's the incentive for the student to start using the product, not necessarily knowing that there's a job in it for them?
Yeah, so it's a gamified process, right? So they're incentivized by actually getting points and actually getting the skills, right? And so they get the skills, they build on their career profile. And so as they're building those things, they also get badges. So it's gamified in a way that they actually care about the outcome of it. And as they go through the process, they can use those specific points to get rewards. Those rewards can be meeting the CEO or potentially interview lists or whatever other rewards that employers want to provide.
Don't the students have a fear that they're going to eliminate themselves from a potential position by doing it because they don't know who they're competing against? Don't the students have a fear that they're going to eliminate themselves from a potential position because they don't know who they're competing against?
That hasn't been brought to our attention. We did about 400 interviews, and we've talked to a lot of the students through surveys. That's not a fear of theirs. They actually are excited about the competition and actually want to get an edge. And so therefore, something like this gives them an incentive to have a little bit of an edge by having relationships with recruiters as well as having these really cool incentives. So by the time that their job comes available, they've created this fantastic relationship and more likely have shown I care about you as a company. And so now companies have a new piece of information they've never had before in trying to hire you.
How do you get access to kind of working class people that aren't going to top colleges and are maybe more unmotivated? Are they motivated the same way?
Fantastic question.
Ambitious?
So we believe that we're ubiquitous to every kind of population, stratifying from like top tier schools all the way down to two-year colleges, et cetera, plus opportunity youth. The thing is we needed to start somewhere, and we believe that we're going to have our best entry by working with people who are highly motivated, right? And in an urgent population that the industry really needs, women. But my expectation is that we're going to get to disadvantaged communities and groups and two-year colleges, which frankly is 80% of the population. And at the end of the day, they actually have the bigger need from a underemployment and unemployment side.
Going to the revenue model, so it's a subscription that
Yes.
companies pay, and is it kind of a sponsorship-like thing? So they get a package?
No, it's basically a monthly subscription. So and it could be an annualized. So
Is it tied to the number of students they can recruit, or?
it's tied to the points that they can allocate. So the more that the points they can allocate, the more they can influence the actual marketplace, right? So I, as an employee, can put a ton of skills challenges out there and essentially influence what skills are getting developed by specific students and student parties.
So what's kind of, it's a two-sided marketplace?
Yes.
Which is the chicken, which is the egg? Like, do you get students first, or do you get companies first?
Yeah, so I used to think it's the students, but actually I think it's the employers. So what we've been finding is that it's easier to get an employer to sign up. It's actually pretty quick to get the value. And what they actually do is also bring all the people that they've had recruited, so their resumes, et cetera. And so we're leveraging them to actually build and scale the number of people on the site.
Are you an economics professor?
No.
Okay, it just sounded like it.
My dad would be proud though. He was an economics.
Do you have, how many customers do you have right now in terms of
So
companies?
we're working with 4 groups right now, 4 customers right now, and several hundred students in the Bay Area schools.
And these are large companies that recruit a lot of graduates every year. What kind of scale are they?
Yeah, so I would say they're mid-sized companies, so Zendesk and Dahlberg Consulting. So they're about 1,500 people in both of those companies. That's probably our sweet spot where they have the biggest need for recruiting support. They don't have the resources to throw people all over the country and are looking for unique ways to differentiate. B2B is a great place because the brands don't know who they are.
Have you considered going beyond entry-level jobs to,
Yeah, so I think the behavior, at the end of the day, we're kind of a behavior solution. So we essentially create incentives for people to actually get better and learn better for a specific objective. In this case, it's to get a job. But you can think of us going up up market to like the corporate side, where you think of it as going back to high schools, et cetera. But the tool of like skills challenges and actually incentivizing them in a gamified way is essentially like our sweet spot.
How do you define the games that you're presenting to the students?
Yeah, so we actually don't define those, the employers do. So employers are the ones that develop the skills challenges, so they need to get creative. We help them a lot along the way right now, and over time, you'll see that the marketplace actually helps each other by becoming more creative.
And the games are online, they're not in person, or it's all online?
Yeah, no, it's both. So it essentially is an enabled, it's a web app right now, so we'll do native later. But the game could be something like, hey, go take 100 people on a hike. That's offline, but we validate it through email, et cetera. Somebody posts, and then our system posts for validation. But it also could be something as quick as like a quiz or something like that.
Excellent, Jorge, good job.
Thank
Good
you,
job.
thank you.
I love cutting the professor off, too.